All right, so our guest today is Roes. Roes is a speaker about non-duality. Her talks are just describing what is. They do not give any direction nor anything of value. Everything is already complete as it is. The abstract mind with an illusory me seems to create a real world with individuals, but it is just a dream. Roes, I'm going to mute myself and I will let you take it from here. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Okay, thank you, Noel. Okay, I will start with a talk. Normally I do that, and then after that talk there is some space of room, how do you say that, for questions or maybe to share something what you do want. This is all there is, and this is not this is all there is, and this is just the moving of your hand, the simple things, just what is happening. And there seems to be a whole world with things are happening in it, but that's only a dream. And that's odd for someone that's living in a dream, that feels that have a life, that feels that has responsibility, that has that meets other people, works, and really also in this time there's a lot of things happening in the world. So it seems like there's a lot of to concern about, or to worry about, or to think about. What this message is saying, there is no world, there's only what is. And only what is very literally, that's what is seen, what is felt by, what is sensed by the senses. So there's no outside and there's also no inside. It's very literally what is. And what we as people are used to is that the brain can abstract things. We are very good in abstracting things. And so when there's a separation and everything seems very real and very solid, the abstract mind can take you to look at it and think about it and think, oh, this is good, this is not good. And the thing is that when there's separation, there's also a feeling of loss, a feeling of not being good enough. There has to be gone something wrong. There's something missing. There's something not right anymore. So they're starting a huge search for making it right in every way it can be. And that making it right is how do you say it? When there's a search and there's a looking, then there are searching, there is someone who does it. It seems that when there's a body, it seems very strongly there's someone inside that body, and that somebody can have a free will, that has choices, have responsibility, and all things like that. And when you grow up, it seems to be more and more. So it's embodied that there's someone, there's a free will, there's choice, there's a world, there's me living a life. I have to make my life work. How can I do that? Oh, and then the whole suffering is starting. And the suffering, what I mean by suffering is not just what's happening, but the whole thing with it. So when there's something happening, there's something looking at it and think, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, how can I make this right? Maybe I could talk to that man and so on and so on. So there's a lot of things going on about this is not right. I did not the right thing. I have to do the right thing. Oh, this is wrong. Maybe it's in food, it's in saving the world, it's in therapy, it can be in anything. So there's a lot of things going on about making it right. And most of the time it's about me. It's about not only about me feeling all right, it's like it's all the time only about I want to feel good. I don't want to have pain. So everything is going on about that. So the whole survival system, what's starting at a very young age, it's, you could say, helping. And in top of that survival system, there's a me going on, and it's the boss of the survival system, you could say. And there's that me with together with thoughts, who's trying to make it right. To when there are thoughts, it seems that are your thoughts, so you have to have the right thoughts. That's also very important. And it seems like when there are thoughts, they're very real. They have meaning. They have content. So they're very important to make your life more comfortable, more happy, to look for someone else, or to look for anything you think it makes your life better. What this message is saying, there's no one. There is already no one. It's not even there is Rose and she doesn't have a me anymore. There is already no one. That's what's very obvious and very normal in the same time. And it's just like that. It's just everywhere. It's not the looking for a me is just pointless. There is already no me. There is, and following on that, there is already no free will. There's no choice. There's no responsibility. So this is huge for the me, for people, for individuals who feel or think and really are convinced, this is my body, this is my life, and I have to make it right. Or maybe I have to look for no me, because then it will be much happier or better. It's pointless. The search is confirming that there is a me, because you think I can look for no me. I can look for to make myself a more relaxed person. Can do that. So in the whole personal world, in the whole world of me, in the world that seems to be there, it's always about having the right thoughts, doing the right thing, trying to make it right, trying to eat healthy food so your body is okay. So there's also a very convincing that the body is your body. It's also not your body, there's just body. It's also, when there are feelings, it's not your feelings, it's just feelings. And it seems that feelings or pain happen in the body. The strange thing is, it's not even happening in the body, it's happening in space. It's somewhere in space. The body is not real. The body is real and unreal. Everything is just energy, but we are so convinced that everything is very solid and very real, and we have to make it work. There's nothing to, it's not even there's nothing to do. There is already no one. So life is just happening. And the only suffering is that there's a me and there's something going on, because there's a misunderstanding that there's something not right yet, that it has to be made right. That's the suffering. When there's no me, when it's very obvious there's no me, then the only difference what there is that there's no need to change. There is the wanting to change anything, it doesn't come up anymore. It's just this, and that there's no escape. There's also no escape. It's not only like, oh, this is it, okay, like this. There's no escape. So there can be pain, and maybe it's even more than when there's a me, because a me has a lot of survival system to reduce that there's pain, and thinking about it and how to do it. And when there's pain, and it's just full on. Everything is full on. So there's no escape. When there's no escape, it seems like everything is just what it is. But everything is just what it is. It's just trees, just walking. And when there's a me, there's always something going on, like an agenda, trying to feel it, trying to make it right, maybe to look for more rest. There, and when that's disturbed, then there's something gone wrong. When there's noise, then there's noise. And it doesn't mean that you say all the time, oh, there's noise. It's okay, there's noise. It's just very normal. When there's noise and there's irritation, there's irritation. But nothing is going on about that. So it's like little children. It's just coming and it's just coming out, or it's not coming out. It's just there. There can be anything. It's already everything. So nothing is, there's nothing wrong. That's huge. There's nothing wrong. So the way you look, the way you move, the way the body is seen, everything is already 100%. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing gone right. That's the misunderstanding. So this is it. This is already it. And this is paradise. And I say it's paradise, or you can say it's unconditional love, because there's nothing trying to change it. It's just life. It's just life. What's happening? It's just how it is. That's it. Nothing wrong, nothing right. Just what it is. Very literally. That's the joy. That's life. Very normal, very simple. That's it. So I think this is it. This is the talk. So if there are people who wanted to say something about this or asking questions, you can do.
Thank you, Rose, for that. We're hearing your voice crystal clear. I think there might have been a little bit of delay with the video, but you're coming through on the audio perfectly, so no problems.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and check if anyone has a question, and if you don't want to ask your question over video, you can just type it into the chat. But you can raise your hand, and we'll call on you. And Rose, just to start it off, we did get a couple of questions via email before. So I'll start with one of those to get things moving here. So if suffering is happening, is there anything that you would suggest?
No, because there is no one. So there's nothing gone wrong. But that's the me. The me, you could say the me is the only thing the me can is there's a huge embodied sense of there's something wrong. So when there's suffering, it seems like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want this. How can I change this? How can I feel happy again? And this is saying, no, it's not about feeling happy. When you want to feel happy all the time and you want suggestions for that, it's not. You don't have to be with me. This is saying this is it. This is it. When there is a lot of thoughts, and when there is pain, or when there's some feeling in the body, that's what's happening. There's just that feeling, and we are so used to name it and make a story of it, and then there's a lot of things going wrong, and it's just that sense. It's just that feeling. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing right with that, but also nothing wrong with that. It's just feeling, or a sense of something going on, or thoughts maybe. Thoughts seem to be very important and very real and very meaningful. It's just thoughts, just an energy, just life, thoughting, and there's no meaning. There's never meaning. It seems that always there's meaning, and when there's something happening, you're looking for the reason or why does it happen to me, or how does it come, or things like that. That's the abstract mind. It's just happening for no reason, just like that. It's just life. No advice, of course, because it's already complete. It's nothing is wrong. It's already this. Nothing is wrong. It's huge.
Thank you. So a couple more questions. From the perspective of what's being spoken about here, is the pandemic apparent or real?
Everything is apparent. There's nothing real. There's nothing real. It's apparently real. So you can hear it. You can see it. Maybe you're watching someone who has COVID, or if you hear somebody talking about it. That's what's happening. That's everything. And we are so used by images and making a whole story of it and thinking, oh, but maybe when it's going like this, then it will be that and that. That's the abstract mind, can go anywhere. But this is just talking about what is. Very, very practical, very simple what is. That can be a room. There's no inside, there's no outside, there's no time, even there's no time, because that's also an abstract thing to make time of it. There's just what's happening. Everything, there's just this. There's not there can be a memory, but that's also this. So there's no time. So there can be a story talking about anything, but it has no meaning. And there can be fear. There can be fear. Then there's fear, or anything else. So nothing is real. When there's a feeling, when there's pain or thoughts, it's apparently there and it's not. You can't understand this. This is not about understanding. So it has absolutely no point trying to understand it. When trying to understand this happened, and when questions about wanting to understand happen, it's all right. Then those questions happen. It's okay. Of course, then that's what's happening. But it has it has no point. There's nothing you have to learn. There's nothing there. It has to be changed. It's just this. But it's not a way of living. This is not a way of living or some thinking about life and this is the best way or things like that. It's just describing what is happening. Very, very simple, very normal, very literally. That's it. And when there's no me, the abstract mind is seen as just as an abstract mind with no meaning at all. It's just a dream. But it's seen for when there's a me, it seems very important and very normal to follow that. So everything is apparent. There's nothing happening. This is not about understanding. There's underneath the word, there can be a recognition somewhere or not, but that's more it. And then you can't grasp it. There's something going on, like there's something maybe, or you don't. You think this is bullshit. Okay, that can also happen. But so it's not about understanding.
So Rose, we have some questions coming in chat. Would you prefer to look at the chat and read them, or do you want me to read them aloud? What is better?
No. Or the chats. You can. I can read them. You can read out loud. That's okay. I can.
Okay. Some of them I'm getting privately, so I'll go ahead and then we'll just keep going. But this is great. Thank you so much. So hi Rose. This is from David. Hi, Rose. There's no separation, so the mug in front of me is everything. But it's not a separate mug, it's everything. So sounds in my ears are no different to images in my eyes. As everything is this, is it possible to say that all there is the illusory sense of self, given that the illusory sense of self cannot be separated from everything? Of course, we can replace the term illusory sense of self with anything.
Whoa, that's
That one might be in the public chat. You might be able to take a look at that one.
yeah, because it's a bit complicated. I will read it again because I
Okay.
already lost some things about it.
Yeah,
But
that one might be best to
yeah,
read.
but it's not a, it's a separate, it's everything. So it's science. It's when you say all there is an illusory sense of self, it's already too complicated. There can be an idea of a feeling or something about that I am someone that can be there, and it's illusory, but it's, how do you call it? It doesn't matter. You can call it anything. It's and it's illusory. So yeah, it's part of everything. I couldn't say that. Everything is just what's happening. So the moving of the hand, and the hand is there and it's not. But the me, it's never there. It never has been there. So it's an illusion. But it's very convincing, and it's very convincing it's there. But it's not part of everything. It's just not there. So it seems to be there, and it's hypnotic and very convincing, but it's not a part of everything. I couldn't say that. We can place illusory self or sense of self. So that's what the me very much likes a lot of times, is trying to name things and trying to make, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like this. The awful thing is, it's you can't name it. You can't say how it is. I cannot say how it is. What is this? What is me? How can you say me? I can only say there is no me. But you say this is it, and you say what is this? I can't say. You can't say what is everything. That's the awful part, because it's not an abstract thing. It's just there, and then there's something else. So there's no name for it. It doesn't need a name for it. So trying to give a name is part of the dream of me, trying to name it, trying to understand, trying to get an image of it. It doesn't have any sense. You can do it or not do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just life, and life is there and it's not. And there's no me. There has never been a me. So there's also no illusory sense of me that makes it, for me, it makes it more complicated. It's just there's no me. That's it. And there's a huge belief, or maybe certainty, that there's me. Okay, that's also what's happening. Okay.
So can you define reality?
Reality is what is happening, but what is apparently happening. So reality is just what is. So there's no world, because then that's the whole abstract. In the abstract mind, we can have images of how it is outside, of I have a home, and when I'm going outside, I'm driving through that home. But the mind is very capable, the brain is very capable of making images and remembering. So it seems like there's a real world. There's only this. There's a room. Maybe you're sitting in a room. That's it. There's nothing outside that room. That's very normal, that you know that there's something outside the room. There's a street or anything, or grass. There is no outside. There is also no inside. So you think in this body there's a me, there's only body. And maybe there's only face. That's it. That's everything. So reality is what is apparently happening. Nothing is real. Everything is just energy. So it's there and it's not at the same time. For the me, that's impossible to understand because everything seems so real, and that's also the suffering that you need to cope with everything that's happening. Nothing is real. It's only apparently real. So nothing is serious also. It doesn't mean that you say all day, oh, nothing is serious, just go on. That, whoop, oh God, I have water. Nothing is going on. So, but when there's falling water on it and goes shoo like this, then it's that, of course. It's very normal.
Ania says, no one has no me.
No, there's no one. So no one has no me. There is no me. Because then it seems that there are people and there's a me or there's not a me. But it's even worse than that. There is that body is also apparent. So it's not also that is not real. It's more easy to see, oh, the world is not real, or maybe you can imagine that. But the body is not real. Whoa, that's something else. So even the body isn't real. There's no Rose. There's only an apparent Rose. So it's not real. There can be a story of Rose. It's not important. Nothing is important. So there's just no me, and there are bodies. There can be bodies, streets. It's the same. It's just energy, streeting, bodying, with no one in it, with nothing in it. It's just moving. It's just life going on like that, without any meaning. Without any meaning. Wow, we are always so convinced that everything has meaning and purpose and whatever, and nothing has any meaning. It's just what is, like a tree. It's just blossoming, or maybe it's not blossoming for no reason. We're always looking for reason because that's important, because then maybe it's going to be better. It's already this. It's already what's happening. That's it. Wow, it's amazing that it's just the hands, just hands, like that.
So, and I apologize if it was Anya, if I pronounced the name wrong, but Eva has a question. Rose, you mentioned that pain is not in the body. When I move the shoulder, I feel pain. Where does that come from?
Because we're so convinced and we're so used to that everything is in our body. We think it's our body, and everything what is happening is also in the body. So feelings, we are for a long time, it's so embodied that belief that there's pain. When there's pain, it's in the body, and there's pain because of maybe a moving, or maybe somebody is hitting me, or maybe there's something wrong in the shoulder or something like that. But there's only this. So there's also no time. That's really strange, because then there's moving and there's pain. So nothing has to do with anything. But we are so used that this happened before and this happened after. So this is connected. And so what can I do about that? Because I want to get rid of that pain. It also doesn't say pain is just pain, and when there's pain, oh, I'm just pain and I'm just feeling it like that. When there's pain, there can be going to the doctor or crying or anything. It's not like accepting things, but nothing has to do with anything. So the body is not real. It's real and unreal. It's just energy. So energy is moving, and because it's seen like it's solid, it seems like it's happening in the body, and it's very convincing. So it's more like, it's not that you have to accept what I say or something like that. If you believe what I'm saying, that's nonsense. But it's another way of looking at it, and you can say, oh, it can be. You can look at it differently. It can be just pain somewhere, and you can't even call it something. It's a sense. It can be pain, or I don't know. It's a feeling there. That's it. That's everything. And there's maybe something else happening. I don't know. We are so used to focus on it and name it and thinking about it, and you could say it becomes more solid in that sense. It's not wrong, but it's getting more density, or how do you say it? But it's just that pain, that's it. And then maybe it's there or not there. So it has nothing has to do with anything.
So when this is seen, is there a change in perspective, or does the notion of perspective dissolve completely?
A change of,
that was from Paul, by the way, sorry.
Yeah, there's change of, yeah, you could say I'm not sure if I understand that word right, but it's seeing it's everything is, I can't say that. Wow, how can you say that? It's more that it's from the perspective of the me, maybe there seems to be a change. From here, there's no change. There's just what's happening. So it doesn't feel like has happened something and now everything is different. No, it's just what is not happening anymore is that trying to change it, or trying to that huge feeling of there's something wrong. It doesn't happen, and there's nothing going on like trying to change it. But the funny thing is, when that's not happening, it's very normal. It's not missed, or it's not that you say, oh, I don't have that anymore. It's just not that. It's very normal. So it's just like seeing things, and it's very literally. So it's suddenly very obvious that a lot of things are just more in the abstract mind, and like interpreting, or naming it, or making something else of it. And that's suddenly, maybe in that moment, it's suddenly seen that everything is just apparent, and there's a lot of things going on, like it's just a dream. But then it's very obvious and normal, and I don't think you can say it's a perspective. It's just living like that. Very normal and very simple, and it's, yeah, like that. It's just describing how it is, and then a lot of things are going on in the abstract mind, and then there can be some abstract thinking, of course, and then it's going again. So I think that's the answer.
That's good enough for me. So Enrique says, hi, Rose. Has devotion about the absolute some practical effect for finishing the dream state?
No. No, nothing has anything to do with anything. So it doesn't mean that you must have devotion, or really dedicated, or letting go and nothing caring. There are a lot of methods about not caring anymore, or a lot of devotion, or questioning, or anything. Because the me somewhere is still convinced there is still something not right yet. There is something can happen. Then maybe oneness can happen, or maybe no me can happen, or now somebody has some other things going on like that, about the absolute, maybe the absolute is happening then. This is already it. So the way you're moving, the way the thoughts are coming, the way everything is going and is happening, that's it. That's it already. Nothing need to change or to do or to be devoted or anything. It's just like the way like it is. For me, it seems impossible to hear because it's so convinced there's something not right yet. And there's maybe some people saying, yeah, but I don't feel the me. I don't feel that there's no me. No, of course not. It's not feeling there's no me or knowing there's no me or when when the whole thing, how can you say that thing, like all the doubts and the thing that didn't go on anymore. It just stopped, and there was something I didn't even know what it was. It was completely different, and I didn't even know what it was. And then days and maybe month after that, in the story, you could talk about that. There was some doubt, like, oh, there was in that moment, it was completely clear there's no me and there never has been a me. But there was sometimes thoughts of doubt, because I was always convinced when there's no me, it will be very clear. There's no me anymore. It will be clear. It will be that I will know it or feel it or anything. It was like that. So there was some doubt because I was so convinced, and there was tension in the body. I thought, oh my God, the me is back, something like that. And then maybe one day it wasn't even noticed, those thoughts didn't come up anymore. There were thoughts, but the funny thing was there were thoughts, but they didn't last. So there was nothing going on about picking it up or so. That was not happening. So they came up and they vanished without noticing. And then one moment they didn't come anymore. So it's not that it's clear or that it's sure or anything. It's just like that. Nothing is going on about that anymore. So it's very normal.
Yeah, you hear pretty consistent stories of, oh, I had it and then I lost it. You know, it escaped. Yeah, sure. It escapes, and now how do I get back to that? And just the thoughts arising. So Mark has a question. So life is the leading, and this is in the public chat if you want to read it after I read it out loud, but so life is the leading edge of a spontaneously happening moving picture show that includes all appearances, senses, and actions, reactioning as may seem to be provoked by that very same leading edge. And all references to that leading edge can only be made in retrospect.
Oh, wow. It's very, it's, for me, it's a bit complicated when you say it like that. It's the leading edge of spontaneous happening. It's just spontaneous happening. Like that every time. It's just like that. And there's no all reference to that leading edge can be on. No, I can't even understand it because my English is not that good. But when I don't understand, it's not like, it's very simple. It's just what is happening. It's just, life is just what's happening. Life is just moving the hand, that's it. Nothing going on about that. You don't need to understand and trying to say what you understand and to make something of it. It's very, very simple. This is about moving the hand, that's it. It's nothing more than that. Moving the hand or drinking coffee or maybe a thought or a sense somewhere. That's life, and that's nothing more than that. So no one needs to understand, no one needs to do something. We are so convinced that we can understand that we can do something that matters, it doesn't matter. Life doesn't matter if you understand or you not understand. It's just, life is just, there will be circumstances, and there seem to be bodies, and walking on the street, and accidents, and anything. That's just what's happening for no reason, with no meaning. So it doesn't need to be understood, or to trying to make something about it, and then words, and then thinking, oh, maybe it's like this. You can't say it's like this. It's very difficult to name it. So the only thing I can say is, this is it. That it's very, and this is talking. That is this. And talking is there and not in the same time. Very simple, very normal. Not special, nothing special at all.
Wonderful.
People
So
can also ask me questions just like that instead of chatting.
yeah, I was gonna say, raise your hand, and then we'll call on you. I don't mind reading them, but yeah, it'd be great to have some people ask the questions. So from David, we often hear from non-duality speakers that certain things can reinforce the sense of separation, such as self-inquiry. If this is so, then it would also make sense that the opposite might be true, and there might be a way to weaken the sense of separation. We know the latter is not the case. Can you explain this apparent contradiction?
Yeah, but when they're saying something like this can reinforce the sense of separation, they think there's someone doing that. So there's someone doing that reinforcement. It just can happen that when there's a search, and there's search for trying to what you say, that the sense when there's a questioning yourself, that can reinforce that there's a me. And that's most of the time what's happening. There are a lot of non-duality speakers I know, they are convinced there's someone, and maybe then it's talking about, sometimes it's even talking about no ego anymore. I thought like that. I thought there is Roes, that's sure, there's a body, and that's certain, and that's real, and I'm real. And maybe when there's no ego anymore, or no me, that's, for me it was a bit the same, then it would be much better, I think. And then when there's a me, there's also duality. So there's something that is good and something that is not good. So there's also something that can reinforce the senses, or something that can weaken the sense. So there's always, when there's a me, there's always trying to do this or trying to do that. The me is the doer. So it's like, oh, can I do this? Or maybe maybe it's better not to do this, or maybe to do nothing, but it's still doing. The me is the doer. That's the only thing it can. And the thoughts, you could say, are the helpers to do that thing, or it seems like thoughts help you to do it. It's just thoughts. So thoughts don't help you to do things. It's just, thoughts are just energy somewhere, and the doing is just what's happening. So know what it is doing. It's not the thought. It's not provoking it. It's just thought. That's just an energy somewhere. It's with not any power at all. And that's just what's happening. So there's walking to the sport, or maybe not. So when there's a me, there will always be contradiction, because this is better, or maybe this is a good thing, and there's always something else also going on. When there's no me, there is no contradiction, because it's only describing this is it, and you can't describe it. It's just this. I say this. I don't know another word to say it. So it's talking, or it's moving the hand. It's very, very, very simple and very singular, but not special singular. It's not, oh, now this is oneness or something like that. It's just moving the head, that's it. There's nothing going on like, oh, I'm feeling oneness now. Oh, this is the absolute. That's the abstract thinking that makes something else of something of it. It's just very normal. And it's nothing is different like all other bodies and people. The only difference is there's nothing going on that trying to change it. There's nothing going on, there's something not right. So that's the dream, that's the misunderstanding. That's not there anymore. For the rest, it's just life going on. And that can be silly or sport or hunger or anything.
Anya says, nothing is serious and nothing is important.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so from Eva, Rose, for how long did you attend Tony's meetings before me apparently collapsed?
Gosh. Many years. And it was getting clearer and clearer and clearer. I was very much into understanding. So it was so much I could understand. It was very clear, the message for me after years. But I couldn't hear there is nothing wrong. I couldn't hear that. I didn't. So it was just like going on, and I could explain the message, and still I was very much into personal growing. So still that did happen in the same time. So I was feeling everything, trying to feel it and trying to release it by crying or anything. So yeah, all the whole thing. And in the meanwhile, I was going to Tony and was very clear about it, I thought. So there was and then suddenly also for me, for this body, it's for Rose, it was, there were things falling away. So it wasn't that I didn't want it anymore, it was just falling away. So the knowing and the clear, it was very clear. It was just gone. It was just gone. There was nothing left about that. I was just like, oh, I'm sitting here and I don't know. I can't say something about it. Oh my God, it was also a relief, but also a bit like, oh, there was my hold. It's not there anymore. So that was one of the moments. So I was a long time with Tony. Still I am in the meetings. He's very clear. It's very nice to be there.
So Kriben asks, sorry.
I have a private. So
yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah. So life is just happening. Do you not have any goodness about it? No love, no joy, no laughter? Oh yeah, there can be laughter about it. Yeah, sure, and joy. It's nothing is so serious. So it's, in a way, there's underneath, or I can't say, there's joy. Yeah, of course. It's just wow. It's just wow. There's nothing going on, and it's just like it is. So there's also in the character, when there's a me, there's always something not right. I was always between, oh, my body and how I behave and things like that. It's not going on anymore. Wow, that's freedom. And it's not very obvious in the mind, but it's just nothing going on about this is not right to do. So there's a joy in just silly things, or walking, or playing games and really want to win, or anything can happen. And it doesn't matter. And it's also not caring about what's happening, because what's happening is it. There can be pain, of course. There can be anything. So what? Then there's pain. It's not that it's okay or something like that. Pain can be, oh my God. But then that's it. Nothing going on about trying to get rid of it, or it's not a way of living, it's just not coming up. So when there's pain, it's not feeling like, oh my God, this is pain. What a wonder. Now there's pain. Oh, God, there's pain. Or there can be crying. There can be anything. And underneath somewhere there's joy. And there's much more laughter. That's true. That can be there. Yeah, that's much more. Mm. Ah. Mm.
So does compassion, Henrik asks, does compassion make any sense?
Compassion. I don't know, but compassion, because there's a lot of people thinking compassion can be very personal also. So I don't know. It's not compassion, I think. I don't know what compassion is in some way. That can be, it's not, I don't think it's compassion. It's just unconditional love, but it's unconditional. So there can be thinking, oh, what is that man ugly? And in the same time, wow, it's love. I don't know. I can't explain that. That can be the same. It's the same. Yeah. But it's not compassion. It's like somebody, it's, I don't know. How do you see compassion? What is compassion for you?
I think that in a lot of ways there is that duality when it comes to compassion. This self has some sort of feeling or understanding of another self, and so there's that duality in it. But I like the way that you described it in terms of unconditional love, because that ends up being the true energy behind it, is that those two separate selves are not separate.
No, there is no one. So when the real compassion, you could say, there's no one. So when there's somebody sick or something, and it's not seen that there's someone inside or so, it's just what's happening. So there can be taking care of that person, but also walking away. It's just what's happening. So nothing going on about that. So it's not trying to do the right thing for someone, trying to take care of someone. No. It's just what's happening. And that's, compassion is much more like things like there's something going on, what is right for that person. But there's no other person, there is no one. So taking care can happen, or maybe yelling. I don't know. It anything can happen. It's not wrong. Then that's what's happening, and we'll see. There's no one. It's not here. There's never no one. So I don't see someone over there. There's no one already. So no one to take care of. Taking care can happen or not. Drinking coffee or anything. Yeah.
So Rose, Mark asks, how do you know that what is known is truth and not brainwashed?
This is not the truth. This is not known. This has nothing to do with knowing. So it's also not the truth. You don't have to believe anything, and you can't say, oh, what she's saying, I take it home. No, nothing has to be taken home. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. I don't care. It's just saying this, and it's here. It's very obvious, like that, but it's not known. And when somebody's thinking it's brainwashed, then somebody is thinking that. But it's so obvious. That somebody can say that. But it's not. This is not about knowing. And that's for me, a lot of things are, I know it, and then it's sure, something like that. This is not about sure. This is not knowing. This has nothing to do with knowing. It's just describing. It's just simple, like, yeah, this is moving the hand. And there's no one, there. How can you say the other way around? How can you say there's someone in? I don't see that. I don't see someone. There's just a body. I only see body. So how can you sure there's someone inside? That's the same thing. So I don't see that. It's very, very literally. I also see there's just body. There's no one in it. It's just like that. That's what is seen.
So Paul asks, was there a gradual transition for you whereby you understood the concepts to know me, where there are no concepts?
There were some, you could say, awakenings, right? Some moments that suddenly there was just walking, and I was walking through the floor, and everything was just energy, only energy. And then it was so free, it was so much freedom. Then the me came back, and it was very frightening. And those moments happened through all those years, but it was not gradual. It was like what I said about that that understanding that fell away, and there were some from those moments, you could say, that everything was just different as anything I ever believed in. And then it came back, and then it was just the beliefs, you could say the belief system was not that strong anymore. You could say in that sense. But that's not what I did. It just happened. Some things fall away, or suddenly there was no floor, or suddenly I was coming into the train, and then, my God, there was no world. But it was not an insight. It was like, oh my God, there is no world. Yeah, and then it came back, and I was sure there was a world, something like that. So, but still, there was something not really that strong anymore. In that sense, you could say that. But it did happen. It was not me or because of something. So you can't do that. It can happen like that. Or not. It can be one clock ready. It can also be like that. Or not noticed. Can also be not noticed. Yeah.
So Eva says, Rose, walking away or taking care of a person, where does the decision come from?
There is that seems to be a decision, but it's just a thought that it seems to be your decision, because the me is the boss. So the me wants to have control. So when there's a thought, I'm gonna walk outside, and you're gonna walk outside, you think, oh, I was deciding that. Walking outside, going outside is just happening. It has nothing to do with that thought. That seems to so normal, that when you think that that's what you're deciding, it's just what's happening. There are also some nature, how do you say, some sciences are already seeing that when there's going outside and the thought is there, it's not together. Then first there's walking, and then there seems to be the thought, decision, and the decision. So it's after that. So, but it's so convincing that we are deciding things, because then you feel you're in control. The awful thing is also when you're deciding it and it is not happening, then you did something wrong. So then the whole thing is going on again. There's nothing going on. It's just thoughts. There's no decision. Seems to be. It's just happening for no one.
Rose, do you have any more private chats that you want to read? I can read some more of these public ones.
Ja,
No worries either way.
Oh yeah, overwhelming, Lawrence. Overwhelming love is seen that it comes when the me moves back, because there need to a me to know it, because there needs to a me to know it. To know what? I don't know what. Overwhelming love? Right. I don't understand. Just talk to me. Overwhelming love is seen, but there's no need to know if there is love. When there's love, it's obvious. Then there's love. But love can be, yeah, it can be love is maybe it's just a feeling. Love is a difficult word because we are so used to personal love between people, something like that. Unconditional love, where I talk about, it's not a feeling. It's everything. Everything is unconditional love already. So it's everything. It's not a feeling or not a special thing or a certain way. It's everything. It's moving of your hand is unconditional love. This is not, you can't understand that. Oh. So there's no one there's nothing is needed to know. We don't need to know life of how it's going. We are so convinced in that knowing. There's just not knowing. It doesn't need knowing life. I don't know if I answered the question right, but who knows that love? Yes, just is. It just is. Yeah, it doesn't need to know. It just is. Maybe a sense, something.
David asks, can you talk about the loss of self-consciousness? To be free from that, it must be nice.
No, you forget that it was there. So what I remember was what I did was constantly the looking at myself, and also always looking at myself, looking at what I did and the comments on that and being busy with that. Wow, that felt like a curse, like, oh my God, it's constantly going on. And also like judging and, oh no, I don't need to judge, and oh, it's going on. And when it's not there, it's forgotten it was there. That's the strange thing. It's so normal. You forget it was there. Sometimes when I hear people talking about what's going on, I think, oh my God. But it's very normal. So it's not even nice. It's just normal. So then more practical thoughts can go on, like describing a note for doing the shopping or so. Yeah. So you forget. It's you get used to it in a sense, you could say. It's very normal and easy, and it's very easy. It's very easy. Living is very easy. It's just maybe there's going to the shop, or there's not going to the shop, or there's going to sport, or they're thinking. I was like, they're thinking, there's rain, a lot of rain. I'm not going to the sport, and then the body did go to the Rose did go. So it was more funny. Like, it seems that there's somebody deciding it. No, it's just life is just happening, anything. So it's normal and simple.
So Mark has a question. I'm gonna spotlight him so we can see that. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, thank you. The sense of self, that seems different than objects or what appears, that which seems to come and go. The sense of self seems something constant.
Mm.
Is that just an error of perception, or is that just some is that an error of perception, or is there something to be said about the self?
It's an embodied belief, you could say. It's not only in the mind. It's embodied. It's so convincing, and it's more like it's a boss of the whole survival system. So there's a whole survival system, but there's also then seems that there is a me, that the brain can do that seems that there is a me, and then but together with the thoughts, it's that feeling of making the right decisions, or feeling of control. So it seems to be there. It isn't. It's not the whole time. There can be biking, and it's not there.
It's true.
No, it's not there the whole time. Yeah.
So that sense of selfing might just be a learned prioritization, giving that sense of self more weight than all of this.
I don't understand that.
In many of the inquiries or processes of looking to understand, awareness of awareness is offered as a practice. Some refer to self as a constant versus that which comes and goes. And I'm just questioning, is that sense of self simply me, and thus just a false prioritization? And I think you gave a good point already, that sense of me does go.
Yeah, but it's a misunderstanding. It's an illusion. It's not really there. That's the strange thing. But it's so convincing that it's there. It's so believed and embodied belief that it's there. So there's put so much energy in it to make your life work, or trying to find out where's the me or things like that. And it's just not there. Never has been. So no point in trying to name it, or trying to understand, or trying to see how that works. It doesn't matter. It's not there, so why should you? It's just life happening. That's it. That's everything.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. All right, let me get to, I saw another hand raised here. I think it was Iwa. Let's see. Looks like they might be gone. I don't see it anymore. So one quick question. Can you talk about grief? Loss seems to be what happens. That's a strong, apparent emotion. I noticed that anything I've had attachment to now causes pain. Can you talk about that a little bit?
One moment. I do not understand the English. So.
Oh, sorry. So grief.
Yeah.
typically when a loved one dies,
Yeah.
there's grief or loss. And they're saying loss seems to be what happens. We have something and then we lose it. I noticed that anything that I have attachments to now causes pain during that loss. Can you speak about loss or grief a little bit more?
When there's a me, there's you feel you're thinking, you feel, or you're convinced that there's someone. So, and then there's this body, and there's a loss. There's something missing. So you're looking for maybe an other person, because then it's less alone, or that missing is less, or that so there can be an attachment, or it feels like there's a connection, or we are together, or when there's a me, there's always trying to how can you say, to own it, to own things, and it's not, it's in the feelings are owned. You think my feelings, it's my thoughts, but there's also something going on about other people, or maybe attachment to things, or anything. And so when it's not there anymore, it feels like loss, but it never has. It never has been real. So when there's a person, you could say that, and there's you're living with that person, so it seems like, oh, it's very important for me, and he's there, and I know he loves me, and but you think that I'm here, and maybe he's not in this room, but then he's on his work. There is only what is. So there is no person at work. There is only what is. There's only this. So we are so used that we are still making an attachment, or making that connection, that person is still real, and it's still existing. That gives a safe feeling that they're still your mother, or your husband, or your children, or something. There are no children. There's just what is. There are no other things. This is everything. So there is no other person. It's in the mind. You know somewhere he's at work, or he is da da da. There is no one. There is, but it's not even there's no one. There's just, this is everything. The room where you're in. When there's another body, another person, then there is someone. Okay, then there is that body, mind. That's it. But there's no one in it. It's just somebody sitting there. And then when it's going out of the door, it just isn't there. This is everything. So when there's talking about loss, it wasn't already, how could you say that it's not lost. It wasn't there already. So it's not lost. Nothing is lost, because there's only this. It seems like there's something lost. That's a misunderstanding, that there is something lost. It wasn't there already. There's only this. And that this is real and unreal. Also, when it's talking about grief or loss, then it seems like, oh, she doesn't happen anymore, or she's not there anymore. She wasn't there already. She wasn't there already. There's no one. There's just body, and then there's couch, something like that. But we're thinking other people are so important to make my life more fulfilled, or anything like that. When that happens, it happens. If a feeling, a nice feeling, that can happen. Or maybe anger. It has nothing to do with that there's another person. There is no other person. There is just what is happening. So there is the feeling of loss it's an interpretation because we are so used to that other person is there. There's just maybe sadness can be there for no reason. That's really odd because we are so used, so normal that I am sad because of this, because of I've lost her or something like that. There's just sadness for no reason. It doesn't matter. It's not saying, oh, when they're sad, oh, this is no reason, they're sad. It's just sadness. But when we are talking about it, then they're sad for no reason. Nothing has a reason. Nothing comes because of this or because of that. There is no because. There's no time. This is an awful message. It's so many beliefs about how things are going. And there's no time. So there's no before, there's no after, there's no outside, there's no inside, there's just this. So there's no mother, no children, just this.
So Rose, I'm guessing that you might have people asking you on a regular basis, what do I do? What do, everything that you're saying makes sense, but there's something I'm not getting. What do I do? Where do I go from here?
You don't have to go anywhere. That what is happening is it. We are so thinking that it has to be something. It has to be what I'm doing is important because it has to be. I'm going towards something. I don't know what. And you can't see that what is the sitting is it. That's it. That's everything. Finished. It's 100%. Everything is 100%. So sitting, it's not like, oh, I'm completely aware of sitting and feeling everything. That's 100%. No, that's an abstract thing. It's just the way the sitting is. That's 100%. It's already 100%. When there's cold feet, then there's cold feet, 100%. That's also, it doesn't need to be warm. It can be pleasant, but when it's cold, it's cold. Doesn't mean that you say, oh, there's cold feet, this is already everything. That's the concept. When there's cold feet, there can be trying to make them warm. That can be there or not. But it's not a way of living that you say, this is it. You can't say, it's not a concept like saying, oh, this is it. People use that concept, or it is like it is, or things like that. So it's understood for a bit and then trying to make it, or nothing is important or something like that. That's a way of comforting the me, because then maybe it's less painful or something like that. This is not a way of living. It's what is happening is already it. So when they're sitting, it's just sitting. The way it feels, the way it's sitting, the I don't know. And it doesn't mean that you have, because I know all those things, like, oh, you have to feel your everything on your chair or things like that. It's just the way it is. That's it. That's already, so there's nothing needed. It's already this. And when there's going outside, then there's going outside. Then that's it. Then that's everything. So nothing is lost.
Thank you for that. David asks, and this is in public, so if you want to read it, after. So even though there's no predetermination and no free will and choice, anything is possible. Humans have preferences and make choices and act according to conditioning, events, and circumstances. It's almost as if there is free will and choice, but for no one.
Yeah, it's very convincing, and you could say, when there's just a story, and when I'm with friends, and they say, "What do you want?" and I say, "Oh, I want to do this." Then that's just in the story. You can talk like that. That's just going on. It's not like, oh, there is no free will, so I look just what's happening. That's just awful talking. It's just very normal, but it's also very obvious when I'm saying, "Oh, I don't want this," and it's just talking. And then when it's something else going on, then there's something else going on. So, and maybe there's irritation sometimes. I don't know. There can be. Anything can happen. It's just the characteristics also. So there can be preferences, but there can be more like in coffee than tea or something like that. But yeah, but there can be preferences. But if it's happening or not, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. And we are thinking, oh, this is happening. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want this feeling. Oh, I don't want this like this. Oh, I don't want blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. And then we think, oh, there's a lot of stuff. When I do this, when I think I have to do that, and then maybe it changes. And then suddenly it changes, but another way that you thought. And then you think, oh, I made the wrong choice. Oh, oh my God, it's a big thing. And it just did go the other way for no reason. It just went like that. So it's an energetic thing, like life is just chaotic. And we think, oh, I did do that. And how did it come? And maybe, oh, I'm sorry that I'm responsible for it. Oh my God, it's the whole thing around it. It's just a dream. It's just a dream with nothing in it, no power at all. But it seems so important. And it's a whole thing going on with, and it's just a dream. And life is just moving at any, and this like this, and it seems very all kind of circumstances and everything is going. And we think we are doing it. Amazing. It's just going. God.
Isa, go ahead.
Do you recommend some meditation? Oh, Isa. Oh,
yeah, Isa.
Hi. I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm gonna unmute there.
Oh.
Sorry, Mathis. Isa, we're not hearing you.
I don't hear you. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, while Isa types in the question, Rose, you want to answer the question? Do you recommend meditation? And then Isa, go ahead and type your question in chat.
Yeah. Okay, because I can't hear you. Oh. I don't recommend anything, of course. When meditation meditation happens, there's no one. So how can I recommend something to who? It's just maybe meditation happens. It's nothing wrong with that, or nothing right with that. It can be sitting or meditation or drinking coffee. It doesn't need to do anything, of course, because it's it. What is happening is already it. So you don't need to do something to become more still or something like that. You don't need to be more still. Then there seems to be something wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just what is the way that character is moving, that body mind. That's it. That's already it. Nothing wrong with that.
Something told me you might answer something along those lines.
Yeah.
Isa, I see that your microphone is on, but we can't hear you. Do you have you been able to type your question into the chat? Are you okay? Oh, almost there. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
we'll come up with one more and buy you some time. Take your time. There's no rush. 1 second here. So this idea of embodiment feels very real,
Yeah.
but it's not really embodied, is it?
No, yeah, everything is apparent, of course. It's nothing is real, but you can also talk in the story to explain things how it happens. But of course, it's not real. There's only what is. There's only what's happening. So then, but it's more explaining how things are going sometimes. Because when you think the thoughts are the motors, or when the me decides, and because of the thoughts you're deciding something. But it's not only the thinking; it's more than that. Everything is more embodied. You can see it. Your whole life. If you're talking about in the story, it seems like it's embodied. So you see it in the body. It's in the face, and you see it how your shoulders are, or so the whole survival system is embodied also. But and that's more an explanation. But when there's just tension, you can't say, oh, this is an embodiment, and then the whole story goes on. That it doesn't matter. But it's just an explanation, and forget it in that sense. You can forget it. It doesn't matter, because it's already this. It's already the moving of the shoulders, or maybe they're a bit stiff. Then they're a bit stiff. So that's what's happening. It's not your shoulders. You don't have to do anything with it, or not doing it. It's just what's happening. So what you're doing, if you're doing exercises, then that's what's happening. It's not you are deciding to do that. It seems like that. That's so fascinating that you are there. There's no one. It's just happening. Oh, wow. At Costa Rica, wow. Oh, there is no me getting more enlightened. Still, there is the experience of seeing what is as it is, clearer and clearer. Is this experience something that keeps going endlessly and changing in a way, deepening, so to say? Or is it here an end? Or is here an end to it in your experience? I know this question is without meaning, and so is your answer, but still it's been asked. There can, yeah, you can say there's a development but in the story there's always a development. You can see, because we're so busy, like, oh, this is more clear, and oh, now but there's no one more clear. It's how we look at it, because we're thinking we are a whole person, and that's getting something more clear. We always make some everything what's happening like, oh, I'm someone, but there is no person, there is no someone. because there can be thoughts. It's just that chaotic. It's not here a body and this person, or maybe there's a me, or maybe there's not a me, and everything is clearer and clearer, because we're so convinced we are someone that that's on a path, and maybe it's not on a path, but there's, how can I say that? There is some solid in it. So there's something going on, like, maybe a year ago it wasn't that clear as it is now. There is no one. There's even the body is even not real. Thoughts are just thoughts, just floating. So you think it's your thought, but it's just floating. So nothing is going on about clear or not clear, or it doesn't matter also, because it doesn't matter. And still, also in the story, and also you can see that there's something is changing. So that's the strange thing in this. What I know, what I remember, and in the beginning when there was no me, and there was no talking about this. It was for years. I didn't speak about it. I didn't know how to say it, how to speak. I don't. It didn't come. And then after some years, there were some people asking, and then it was more easy to talk. And then when I'm seeing it now in this story, you could say, it's more obvious. It's more easy to tell. It's more. Maybe you could say it's embodied. It's just a way of talking. It's not like the truth, but it's like it's more obvious and more easier to speak in normal language about this. So in that sense, there can be a development. There seems to be a development, and in the same time, of course, there isn't. I don't know if you understand that. Yeah.
You said we get a thumbs up on that? Yeah, all right, excellent. So there's one more, unless there's other questions. I do have one more here, but I'll try to chop it up in a different way. But what you spoke about makes me want to ask this. So would you say that the me falls away in increments?
In what?
Increments, sort of like in phases or steps. Does the me fall away in phases or steps?
No, it's there or it's not there. There can be some moments that there's no me, and that has some, you could say, it's when there's just some moments, some awakening moments, that in timeless moments, then it can be, has a huge impact, because then afterwards maybe the whole me and the whole thing is coming back, but still there's something not that sure of that solid anymore. But when there's a me or there's no me, so it's not and the me is not constant. There are a lot of moments of the day there's no one. So there's already no one, but the whole concept of me is also not constant. It's not all day being there. There's a lot of times of the day it's not noticed, it's not there, because it's so normal. And then the whole talking, or then there's something happening, and that whole talking or thinking about it's going on, it's coming back again. So nothing is constant. But it's an illusion, but it's an illusion, but seems very real. But it's an illusion, so you can't get rid of it. You don't need to. You don't need to. It's already gone. It's already not there. So you don't need to do anything. You don't need to say, oh, maybe this is the me thinking that and that. Oh, maybe, what can I do about that? No, it's that nothing is the me. It's just thoughts going on and then thinking and just like that. It's already not there. So nothing needs to happen. But it's already this, then, and then the me thinks, already this. I don't want this. Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Anya, I'm going to spotlight you so you can ask your question.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
So no one's in there. And at the same time, sometimes it looks that a lot of people are living from their head. So much thinking. Can you say something about that?
That there are a lot of thinking, and it seems like the me is there. You mean?
Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
But that's the misunderstanding. That's you think that the thinking is your thinking. So it seems like I'm thinking, and that's me thinking or something like that. It's my thoughts. It's not your thoughts. It's just thinking. It's just thoughts coming from nowhere, from nothing.
Yeah.
Without meaning. And
yeah, I know that, but it looks like so people who are joining satsang, it's more obvious for them, but for me it looks like other people are sometimes so much living from their head.
Oh, okay. They're very
in their story, living in their own story.
Yeah, but when there's a me, it's living in your own story. Maybe there's some individuals are more mental, other individuals are more feeling, into feeling, but it's still a me. So it's a different story, and some people are thinking, oh, my story is better than your story. So yeah, it's just different. There's nothing better than something else, of course. That's so what the me is thinking. I'm better or I'm worse. That's the same side. But it's not. It can't be better or worse. It's just what it is. It's just mental or very mental way of live, or a lot of feelings, and that's the character. It's just that whole system. That's the way it goes. It's what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Rose.
It's also another chat. The human being called Rose, the human being called Rose, is limited to 5 senses, with which it observes and interacts with what is. No, but okay. The same can be said for David. Neither has a self, so why isn't David able to talk about this the way Rose does? Ah, yeah. When there's a me, it's so convincing that the whole story and how it is, and that there's something wrong and that there's something has to happen. It seems very real. Everything seems very real. So it's not that there's not Rose which observes and interacts with what is. Maybe that's a misunderstanding. There is no Rose. Another one. Oh my God. There's just what is. There's not Rose observing what is, or Rose reacting on what is, or that's what me thinks. There's just what is. There can be talking, that's what is. And what we are so used to is that when somebody is asking, we say asking and I am answering, but that's already the story, already an interpretation. There's just some words and here's some words. That's it. It's very clean. It's very literally. And there's not Roes reacting. There's just words coming out. There's no Rose. It seems to be there's Rose. You only see a face. That's what it is. There is no Rose. It's not how can you say it? It's not we think this is Rose is this body mind. It seems very real and solid, and she reacts, and maybe there's no me anymore, so reacts. I don't know why you think that, but it's not like that. It's worse. There is no Rose. That body mind, it's just there and not there. So there's no Rose. There's just talking. That's the only thing there is. And it seems like Rose is talking and she's there and she has a past and talking about that. But nothing is real. There is no past. When there was talking about what I was doing, it's just a story. Forget it. Not important. It's not important at all, of course, because this is already it. It's just the moving of the hand. It's just talking. And it seems like Rose is saying things from what is. It's just talking. It's even not important what is said. Nothing is important. Also, my works are not important. No, but it's just not important. No, of course not. You don't need to hear what is said. It doesn't matter. And there's something else going on. That's what in these meetings, when there's no one, when there's no one. So there, it's just like, oh, everything is not reacted in the way you're used to. So there are some concepts are shivering or things like that. So it's completely different as in maybe other meetings, you know, because there is no Rose. There's just words coming out, and underneath or behind, or how do you say that? There's something else going on. There's some destroyer, because we're so convinced, and so everything is like this and like that, and then suddenly there's oh, what, my God, what's happening here? So there's and that's underneath the words. So the words are not important. Doesn't matter. There's something else happening, and sometimes it's sometimes people say also then it seems like there's changed something, but I don't even know what. There's something not there, but I can't even say what it is. Something like that. It's not knowing. It's about not knowing. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Thank you for asking this. It's, yeah.
That was great. So any other questions, either in the chat or raising hands? No? Okay. Well, Rose, thank you so much. My face hurts from smiling. Really appreciate you speaking with us today. Can you tell us, obviously on the website, on the page, we link to your website, but you want to tell us about any regular meetings or anything you have upcoming for anyone interested?
No, every 2 weeks I have English meetings on the Sunday. So I think it is, one moment. Oh no, not this week, but next week. And then every 2 weeks on on Amsterdam time. I'm in Holland. So there will be at 11 o'clock and 4 o'clock, 2 meetings on the Sunday. That's what I'm doing on Zoom. So you can see on my website if you want to join. It would be nice.
Okay, great. Yeah, we link to it from the page. Rose, thank you so much. Just quick announcements at the end. If you like this, we'll have another one. We do these on. We're going to be doing these on 2nd and 4th Fridays. Emerson
I like it.
and hosting. So Rose, hopefully I know you did an interview with Emerson. I can't remember what got posted of that. We will be posting this recording to YouTube, sending it out to the newsletter. And then if you're interested, Rose, we'd love to have you back for another one of these.
Okay, I like to do it. Yeah.
Excellent. So everyone who signed up today signed up either from the Zoom link or from the website at nothing.fm. We have more of these lives happening. And then we also have, we're going to be announcing some virtual retreats coming up. So if there is interest, you can subscribe to the newsletter there. Thank you everyone for coming today and for asking your questions, either chat or asking them with the video. We really appreciate it. That's it for us, but everyone have great weekends and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Rose.
Bye.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you very much. That was brilliant. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Rose. That was great. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose.
Bye.
Now I can hear everybody.
Yeah, now everyone's here. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Wow, thanks.